Hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 125 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts. These are designed for folk with a growth mindset or those who'd like to develop one. This is creator folk who want to become better at being who they are at their core, and they're not distracted by merely getting better at doing what they do. Whew. Well, clearly not in my office this morning, up in the mountains today. And it's kind of a lovely, bucolic place to be. Granted, you're seeing the cabin. Um, to be having a conversation about fear and its antidote, which is being present. And one of the things I became aware of in preparing for this week's, all right, in writing the email for the quote that came up, I saw a quote from Kelly Wendorf, who is the CEO of a ranch, an equine ranch outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Um, and what surfaced for me is the idea that fear is future based, right? Most of the things that we're afraid of are things that haven't happened yet, or things that may or may not happen, right? Not only are these fears of possible futures draining, they just suck the energy out of us. They also rob us of being present. And so the quote that I pulled from Kelly is this: don't think about what could happen. Think about what is happening. Again, don't think about what is happening. Don't think about what could happen. Think about what is happening. One easy way to eliminate fear, at the very least, for those of us who have extreme fear, to begin to mitigate it, to begin to offset it, is to choose to be fully present to that which is happening now and only that which is happening now. Not only does that reduce the fear, but it also makes for a much richer and more engaged experience for you and for everyone around you. So this is really a question about navigating fear. I don't want to say that everything has fear. I learned something from a man named 𝗹𝗵𝘆𝘁𝗵𝗆. He runs a company, an organization called Wolf Connection out in California. Teo studied with Carlos Castaneda in that lineage, and frankly, Teo's a shaman, among other things. One of the things we talked about, which was a wild concept, and it's taken some time for me to begin to really get connected with, is, so stay with me, fear is an independent vibration. And what I mean by that is it's a vibration that exists independent of circumstances. So fear is an energy all unto its own, and it is not associated with the circumstances. We, the meaning generating machines that we are, when we experience something, we attach meaning to it. And we attach meaning, we can also couple it with fear. So the circumstances themselves are not generating the fear. It's the meaning that we're attaching to the circumstances. It's the meaning that we're attaching to that experience. That's where the fear gets connected. So our opportunity is to decouple from the fear. It's to choose something different than attaching that emotion and that energy, that meaning to the circumstance. And that's kind of the piece that Kelly's quote is getting to. Don't think about what could happen. And when we think about what could happen, we begin to attach meaning to it and energy to it and emotion to it. That's where the fear gets connected. Think about what is happening. Focus yourself on the actual circumstances, the actual conditions, what's actually occurring in the moment, what is objectively occurring. Let go of what the meaning is that we attach to it, and it's easier to decouple from the fear. There are a couple other things I wanted to play with today in terms of navigating fear. You know, there's we all have people in our world who we think are fearless, and I struggle with that term because most of the folks that I used to think are fearless are folk that merely have enough courage, enough bravery, enough intention that to plow beyond the fear, to face the fear and do it anyway. Elaine in her book talks a lot about the concept of 20 seconds of bravery. I think I even mentioned it in my upcoming book. But that idea of just 20 seconds of bravery can allow you to plow through any fear and begin to accomplish new things. The idea of just, and sometimes it's not even 20 seconds, 5 seconds of bravery can allow you to take action. So it's not about being fearless, it's about choosing what your relationship with fear is. You can be with the fear, face the fear, and do it anyway, or you can choose not to let the fear stop you. It's amazing how much the fear mitigates once action is taken. The just the confidence that comes from forward motion and beginning to accomplish something can that confidence that comes as a result of taking action can very easily begin to dissipate the fear. Everything we're talking about is goes with what Kelly is sharing here. Don't think about what could happen. Think about what is happening rather than getting fixated on what we're making up and the meaning that we're attaching and the fear that's being connected to whatever your action or choice or decision may be. What happens when you refocus all of your attention and all of your energy on what's happening in the moment, what's true and what's real, and be choiceful, be intentional about the meaning that you attach to the current circumstances. When I first started the Mindset Mondays broadcasts, oh my God, I was terrified every time I flipped the camera on. Terrified. Just abject terror. And all of the saboteurs in my head, all of those negative voices would start chittering away with, oh my God, who are you to do something like this? Why would anybody pay attention to you? What are the nasty things that just compounded the energy that was around it? And I attached meaning, which became fear. The epiphany for me was that chittering. None of it was true. It was intended to be a reminder. And when I got present and listened to what the intention behind those voices was, what came up for me is when I'm present in the moment, when I am on my message, and when I am on purpose. Those three things. When I'm present in the moment, I'm on my message and on my purpose. That's when, in fact, it's the only time when I ever have the impact that I'm here to have, that I'm meant to have. And the fear eased instantly. Present in the moment, on my message, and on my purpose. When I got present to what was happening, not what could happen, not all of the fantastical visions I had of how badly and epically I could screw it up. When I let go of what could happen and got completely centered on what was happening, when I got completely present in the moment, the fear dissipated. That was 125 episodes ago, 124 episodes ago. Now, granted, that dance went on several times for several videos, but the idea of just facing the fear and doing it anyway allowed me to create this and allowed me to create the book that's part of it and the events that will be part of it and all the different components and expanded my footprint of impact. It changed what was possible merely by shifting my attention to being present in the moment. Yeah, and Mary Virginia noted interesting concept 20 seconds of bravery. Research shows that if you can simply be present with the emotion of the psychological discomfort for 90 seconds, then the physical sensations that accompany it will dissipate. It's not bravery, it's breathing and being present. The sensations pass, then we can make a choice about how to proceed. It even works with panic attacks. Yeah, it's fascinating. The like unpacking bravery, right? I think bravery is often just another way of labeling intention, right? Being intentional and choiceful. In this case, breathing and being present, just letting it pass, letting it dissipate, but being at choice and being with intention. And it starts with being present in the moment. And I think it's okay to allow that we feel the fear. We don't have to be fearless for any time at all. It's what we do to let us continue to move forward or to continue forward. And yeah, I think that is the piece. Are we ever truly fearless? I don't know. I have so much more to learn from Teo and more these conversations about fear and thoroughly decoupling from fear. Um, there are several philosophers who talk about the idea of once we become comfortable with and at peace with our own death, or once we engage with death and experience our own death, do we ever truly decouple from fear? That's a much deeper body of study for me going forward. But that idea alone of being so comfortable with whatever the outcome may be, you can begin to decouple from fear altogether. So that's what I want to leave you to play with this week, right? I We have wild scenarios going on in the United States. Um, One of our states, Florida, just set a 1 day record for new corona cases, and not just for Florida, but for any state in the country. And we've got several other countries now that are spiking beyond all reason. And this is not about it being political as to whether we're taking the right actions or enough action. We are not past the first wave, let alone going through the second wave. We are not done with COVID-19 and the pandemic. And there's something important right now about being present in the moment and being intentional and being choiceful and not surrendering to the fear and not surrendering to hysteria or misinformation. This is about being still, breathing, and being present. And when we stop worrying about what could happen and we think about what is happening and we are responsive to what is happening right now, the fear can dissipate and we can begin to make much more intelligent choices. There is never a time in our world where slowing down and becoming more present and making more informed, intentional, intelligent choices is not a good thing. There is no time where that will not serve. And right now, it will serve more than anything else to be fully present in the moment, breathing while wearing your damn mask. Being fully present gives you the chance to make intentional choices. So, what I want for you this week is to choose a mindset that will allow you to be fully present. Breathe and let whatever meaning you're attaching to things dissipate and become intentional. So, between now and next Monday, what mindset